Why, David, are you so dismissive of this group of investors when we've watched social media and technology, go into other parts of society and there's no looking back? I mean, take a look at the impact Facebook has had, Twitter has had, not just on discourse, but on politics, for instance. Why wouldn't the advent of technology, whether it be from, apps like Robinhood or sites like Reddit, have a lasting impact? We've seen it time and time again.
Well, look, I think in this specific case, last week was a specific case, Melissa,
Sure.
where a hedge fund that was overly leveraged, overly exposed with his short position got exposed. I'm not so sure. I think there's a big learning lesson there. So I'm not sure that's, we're going to be, seeing lightning strike twice in the same place. At some point, the markets will settle down, because if you say, oh, well, we've got this group of investors, they're not really fundamentally based investors. Are they buying anything fundamental? The next thing they move to is silver. Then there's going to be a lot of people on the other side of that trade realizing that should silver go up 10 to 20% on one day. Gold didn't move that much, nor the commodity moved that much, but silver. So at some point, though, people are going to catch on and will quickly bet against these speculative trades. And you're going to end up getting a wash. And so I think that's what really is going to come out of this. I guess if Mike Cuban is right, is that there's nothing immoral, there's nothing illegal. Maybe there's a new entrant into the market, and it's this band of retail investors. But they will be squeezed out very quickly.
Oh, I understand that, and these are very specific stories. But the fact that you say hedge funds are going to right-size their positions and not become so overly exposed again, that implies that there is an impact, even if it's in how portfolios are managed. There is a more lasting impact on how we trade collectively than before. We know that this is a force that can actually make an impact and have ripple effects on the market now.
Well, I guess I look at it a little differently in terms of what happened last week with GameStop, which was it was a very esoteric, specific development. And maybe you can argue that it's good news insofar as if there's any other hedge funds out there that aren't managing their risk. Okay, as a hedge fund manager, you have to manage your risk every day appropriately. And so somebody discovered an anomaly, or a whole bunch of people, and leapt on it through call options. So you have leverage on top of leverage, right, and it causes these exaggerated moves. So that part of it is actually good news, in the sense that if I'm running a hedge fund, this is actually a real splash of cold water to make sure that I'm focusing on my risk exposure. So that's something different. These new band of investors that are creating this volatility, this will get squeezed out, because if they're not investing, if they're investing on some fad or on some flow, and it's nothing fundamental, it's going to come out very quickly.
Sure.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.